Hey everyone, welcome to 996 The Howl. For the uninitiated, this is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes and a lot more positives than negatives in a season opening loss. But before I get into the game, I think I'll start with this kind of channel progression where I'll make the videos on the days off and not immediately after the game. If it's preferred, I do it right after the game. If you want immediate reaction, maybe I could look into doing that. But otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter for instant reaction of the games, which this game started out good, and then they got into some penalty trouble. Just silly mistakes. Keller blindly drop passes it to nobody. Hjalmarsson's forced to take a penalty. San Jose had nothing going for them in the first 10 minutes of the first period. Then they get a power play, and then things start going. They get a goal, just a fluky bounce around the net. Kemper really couldn't do much. And then they get the momentum from that goal and score another quick one. Tomas Hertl with two quick goals. I mean, San Jose, they had just one line on firing on all cylinders. Evander Kane and Hertl had amazing games and were such a threat every time they came on the ice, but I really don't even think anyone else on the San Jose team played a good game. I mean, Severson and Meyer maybe had good games, but I didn't even hear Logan Couture's name or LeBank's name. Carlson was kind of a non-factor. Burns was all right. But I feel like the Coyotes did a good job shining on every other player of the Sharks. Just Kane and Hertl are really good NHL elite players. And, you know, it's a given that those players are going to show up every night and score and make their stamp on the score sheet, which they did. But moving on to the Coyotes, you know what? They looked actually really good. They looked fast, hungry, chasing pucks. The puck retrieval was awesome. I mean, they are on pucks immediately. Wherever the puck went, I felt like the Coyotes players had their eyes on it and just skated right towards the puck, which is good. Not too much laziness at all by anyone. We'll get into the overtime later. But yeah, down 2-0. It was kind of a sour taste in your mouth after the first period. And then the second period, the Coyotes played an amazing second period. They pretty much played a good 60 minutes, except for like 5 minutes in that first period, just due to silly mistakes and penalty kill trouble. But Conor Garland with an amazing play to tie it to make the deficit 2-1. Brassard making things happen in front of the net. Talking about the new players, Brassard had 2 posts, a great 2-on-0 with Keller in overtime. He was in front of the net on the first goal by Garland. Really impressed me. You know, as a veteran, older guy, I didn't really think he had the mojo and would have such an impact on the game, but he did. And so did Tyler Pitlick. Looked really big and fast. He has some moves too. Larson, I didn't get to see too much. You know, a bit of a non-flashy guy. I hope he improves on the penalty kill. I thought his penalty killing could have been a bit better. It was really good in the overtime. Drake Caggiula fumbled a breakaway pass from Dvorak or Kessel, I think. So it was unfortunate to see him fall on his own volition instead of getting a breakaway chance. But Caggiula, you know, left a bit to be desired. I would rather have Krause on that third line with Dvorak and Kessel rather than Caggiula. But we'll see. And talking about these lineups, I mean, you cannot predict these lines. I mean, Rick Tocchet is on some wave to put Dvorak as third line center with Kessel and Caggiula. Second line was Keller, Brassard, and Pitlick, which is all right. Keller looked amazing, and that line was pretty good. But the first line with Garland, Schmaltz, and Hayden looked really good, and especially Hayden. I mean, I want Hayden to get more into the middle of the ice and take some shots. I don't think he took many shots last night, but his hands and his confidence and his body posture, completely different from last season. I expect big things from Hayden. He wanted the puck. He was holding on to the puck in the offensive zone, which is what you want to see from a skilled guy. Wasn't afraid to make plays. He looked very confident. His hands looked great. Really excited for Hayden this year, and I'm talking about Barrett Hayden and not the other Hayden, which I forget his name. Maybe it's John, but he was scratched tonight. So moving on, it was 2-1 by Garland, and then Garland makes another incredible play in the third period when they're down 3-1 to sneak through the defense of the San Jose Sharks and find Keller open. Keller roofs it 3-2, and then the Coyotes have to pull their goalie in the last 2 minutes of the game. And all of last season, they never scored pulling their goalie. I knew it. I already said, you know what, Coyotes going to lose 3-2. We'll get them next game. They never score pulling their goalie, and somehow they find a way with 4 seconds left. Phil Kessel bats it out of the air off a rebound. And then they go into overtime. They get themselves into penalty trouble. But even before that, I don't like Phil Kessel on 3-on-3 overtime. If you want to put Kessel in the overtime, at least save him till the last minute. Don't put him on early in overtime because he's good going the offensive way. But it's so obvious that once they miss their chance, Kessel is so slow on the back check that it kind of hurts the Coyotes, and then they have to be forced to draw a penalty, and they have to kill off a 2-minute penalty. Before that penalty, Keller and Brassard had a 2-on-0. Martin Jones made a great save. But yeah, I don't like Kessel 3-on-3 or Hjalmarsson. Maybe not even Goligoski, but Goligoski, you know, he's a defenseman, he's good. I could be swayed to have him on 3-on-3. But if you're going to put Kessel on the overtime, at least make him save his breath from regulation and just throw him on maybe in the last minute of overtime. It was an issue last season, and you know, this season there's a lot of hungry young guys like Schmaltz, Garland, Keller. You know, you could throw Pitlick and Brassard out on the overtime. Dvorak's quick. Just go with the quicker guys who work hard rather than Phil Kessel in the overtime. And then the shootout, it's whatever. I liked Schmaltz's goal. Garland hit the post, and Kemper could have made a couple saves. But overall, good game by the Coyotes. It's the first game of the season. They got a point. They face the Sharks again Saturday. Kemper was a bit pedestrian. I would still keep him in for Saturday and even the first game against Vegas, and then see where he's at. Give him a couple chances. He didn't look he didn't have a top performance. You know, that standard Kemper performance that we're all used to seeing last night in his first game. He could work on some things. I feel like he's a bit shaky when the puck's behind the net, and that's how the San Jose Sharks scored their first 2 goals. You know, the puck's behind the net, and it goes right out in front into the crease. And the video hasn't even played this whole video. My mistake for that. But anyways, yeah, the 2 goals for the Sharks, they're behind the net, behind Kemper. And I think on the second goal, Kemper misread the play. He actually went the other way as opposed to the other way. And then the San Jose player put it in the net. So, yeah, Kemper could be better. The defense was all right. I love the back check by the forwards. Dvorak had a couple great back checking performances. The Coyotes are just really fast. And whenever they got the puck, they were passing it quickly forward, north, always looking for that other Coyote player to pass to. So that was great to see. Other than that, there was a brief moment where I saw Kessel's line paired with the Hjalmarsson and Osterley line. And Kessel's a guy who works the perimeter. He never likes to go in the middle of the ice for whatever reason, which is a problem. Kessel needs to not shoot it out from like the top of the circle on the ground and it gets blocked. You know, he needs to drive to the net. He needs to move more in the middle, stop doing this perimeter, because when he does this perimeter movement, he likes to pass it to his D partners. But then if you have Hjalmarsson as a D partner, you know, he can't really shoot the puck. He's not that great offensive D-man like a Chychrun, Goligoski, OEL, or maybe even Demers is. So I think Tokic should realize what kind of D pairings these forwards are paired with. I'm sure he saw it too, but I wouldn't put the Hjalmarsson D line with the Kessel line because, like I said, Kessel likes to play it back to the D. Hjalmarsson's not really capable to make, you know, high IQ offensive plays. He's more of a defensive defenseman. That was my one gripe that I saw for a brief moment. But sticking on Kessel, a bit too perimeter for my liking. Just try to attack the crease, make some plays, move more in the middle. He was getting his shots blocked a lot, which would transition the Sharks the other way. So you don't want to give up possession that easily. Just make the right play, find an open player instead of just throwing it on the net and hoping. There's some brief moments in the second period when the Coyotes were down 2-0, where they looked frustrated. They were just throwing pucks on net and hoping And, that was kind of how they scored their first goal, Conor Garland's first goal. He threw it on net, it hit Burns' stick, and elevated past Jones. But since that second period, they're making some more skilled plays, having that confidence to just attack the D of the Sharks. And that Garland play on that second goal where he just took it upon himself to break through the defense in an individual effort and just make the play, find Keller, that's how you're going to score. They have to stop just throwing pucks on net and hoping. Sure, that's good for one goal, but they got to start using their skill and their speed to move past the opposing D-man. There's a couple times where Dvorak had to jump on a D partner but decided to pass it. I would like to see Dvorak shooting it more. I could already tell that Kessel's going to shoot the puck a lot more this season. Tocchet has talked about that in the offseason, that he wants Kessel to shoot more. So maybe that's why Kessel was just throwing pucks into bodies, because his coach is telling him to shoot pucks more, so he's just throwing pucks willy-nilly when he should be shooting, selecting his shots for higher quality. And like I said, don't just throw the pucks on net, because it gives the opposition an easy way to transition out of their zone. But I like the Coyotes game. They're fast, they're hungry, good back check, good puck retrieval, pretty much a full 60 minutes. Work on their penalty killing a bit. I know they have a lot of new players. Their power play and their penalty kill has a lot of new faces, so they got to get acclimated with each other. The defense of the Coyotes has just stayed the same, so I was a bit surprised some of those goals went in, not cleaning up their assignments in front of Kemper, because there's no new face on the Coyotes back end. It's the same 6 guys. So they should be a bit better as the season goes on. The goaltending should be better because there's no new faces there. The offense actually looked pretty good for having so many new faces, new line mates. They looked comfortable with each other, especially that Keller, Brassard, and Pitlick line. We'll see. I always tooted that Brassard should be a third-line centerman, but he's got the speed boots and the effort and just the mentality to be that second-line player, other than Derek Stepan, who I think fell out of that role. So if Brassard can continue this high-paced, momentum-based play, he belongs there. Keller looked great, amazing. He's continuing his performance from the playoff bubble, where he's confident with the puck. He's pushing to the center of the ice, to the front of the net. He wants the puck. He wants control of the puck. He's not scared to make plays. And just limit those drop passes, and it should be good. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry about the video behind me. I'll get it right. This is my 5th season doing this, so I'm surprised I still have a little bit of these hiccups. But thank you for watching, and thank you all for your support.